Survival isn't about having the most gear, it's about having the right gear and the right mindset. I've seen it countless times out in the wild and in disaster zones. People get bogged down. They spend a fortune on gadgets and gizmos, things they think will save them when the chips are down. They build these massive stockpiles, these fortresses of stuff, but they miss the point entirely. The real danger isn't just the storm, the blackout, or the emergency itself. The biggest trap is wasting your precious time, energy, and money on the wrong things. They watch a show or read an article and suddenly believe they need a 10-year supply of freeze-dried everything, a military-grade gas mask, and a remote bunker in the mountains. Their garages fill up with boxes, their credit cards get maxed out, and their focus gets scattered. They are preparing for 100 different doomsday scenarios at once, from a zombie apocalypse to an asteroid impact. The problem with this more is more philosophy is that it's overwhelming. It paralyzes people. A beginner looking to get prepared takes one look at these exhaustive lists and just gives up before they even start. They think it's too expensive, too complicated, or too time-consuming. Even seasoned preppers get caught in this trap, constantly chasing the next piece of high-tech gear instead of mastering the basics. They have a satellite phone but don't know how to find clean water in their own backyard. They have a state-of-the-art tactical knife but have never practiced making a simple fire with wet wood. When a real disaster strikes, a hurricane, a widespread power outage, a supply chain collapse, you won't have time to sort through a mountain of non-essential items. You need a streamlined, effective plan that works fast. You need to know exactly what to grab and exactly what to do. Most survival plans fail not because of a lack of supplies, but because of a lack of focus. Now let's talk about how to fix this. The solution is a powerful mindset shift that I've used in the most extreme environments on Earth. It's called the 80-20ths rule, or the Pareto principle. The core idea is simple. In almost any situation, 80% of your results will come from just 20% of your efforts. Think about it. In business, 20% of the clients often generate 80% of the revenue. In your own life, you probably wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. This principle is a law of nature, and it is the absolute key to smart, effective survival prepping. Applying this to prepping means you stop trying to do everything. You stop preparing for every wild, improbable scenario. Instead, you identify the vital 20% of preparations that will help you overcome 80% of the most likely emergencies. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being ruthlessly efficient. It's about channeling your energy, your money, and your time into the things that will actually make a difference when it matters most. This is a game changer. It transforms prepping from a stressful, expensive hobby into a manageable, empowering part of your life. This mindset shift is about focusing on probabilities, not possibilities. What is most likely to happen in your area? Is it a winter storm that knocks out the power for a week? Is it a flash flood? Is it a disruption in the supply chain that leaves grocery store shelves empty? So what does this vital 20% of supplies actually look like? It's simpler than you think. We're going to focus on the core elements that address the rule of threes in survival. You can last about 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. The absolute number one priority, the king of all preps, is water. A person can't survive without it for long, and in a crisis, clean drinking water is often the first thing to become compromised. Your first investment should be in water storage and purification. This is non-negotiable. Start with a simple goal: 1 gallon of water per person per day. Get a high-quality water filter like a Sawyer Squeeze or a Life Straw that can make thousands of gallons of questionable water safe to drink. Also have a backup method like purification tablets or plain unscented bleach. This two-pronged approach, storage and purification, is the cornerstone of your 20%. Next on the list is shelter and warmth. You can freeze to death long before you starve. This doesn't mean you need an underground bunker. It means having a plan to stay warm and dry if the power goes out in the middle of winter. A portable propane heater used with extreme caution and proper ventilation, or a simple wood-burning stove, can be a lifesaver. Finally, we have food and a few critical tools. For food, focus on calorie-dense, non-perishable items that require no cooking. Think canned meats, peanut butter, protein bars, and dried fruit. You want food that provides energy now. You can worry about gourmet meals later. For tools, the list is short and sweet. a reliable fire-starting kit, a sturdy fixed-blade knife, a powerful flashlight or headlamp with extra batteries, a hand-crank emergency radio to get information, and a comprehensive first aid kit. That's it. Water, warmth, simple food, and a handful of key tools. This is your vital 20%. Just as important as knowing what to focus on is knowing what to ignore. A huge amount of the survival market is filled with what I call fantasy gear. These are items that look cool and might be useful in a very specific Hollywood-style scenario, but they are practically useless for the 80% of real-world emergencies you are likely to face. Let's start with the overly complex gadgets. Things like solar-powered everything. While solar is great, a complex solar generator system can be expensive, fragile, and require technical know-how to maintain and operate under stress. For the 80/20th prepper, a few simple power banks for your phone and a hand-crank radio are far more practical for a short-term grid-down event. Similarly, avoid hoarding excessive amounts of specialized gear. Do you really need night vision goggles, a grappling hook, or a ghillie suit? For 99.9% of people, the answer is a firm no. These are distractions from securing more water, food, and medical supplies. The number one skill, without a doubt, is fire making. Fire is everything in a survival situation. It purifies water, cooks food, provides warmth, signals for help, and offers psychological comfort. You need to be able to make a fire in any condition, rain, wind, or snow. This means, you need to practice. The next critical skill is first aid. In any disaster, emergency services will be overwhelmed. You need to be your own first responder. You don't need to be a surgeon, but you must master the basics of stopping bleeding, treating burns, setting a simple splint, and dealing with shock. Take a local Red Cross or CERT class. Buy a good first aid book and read it. Then, open up your first aid kit and familiarize yourself with every single item. Finally, you need to master your immediate environment. This means knowing how to secure your home. How would you board up a window if it broke during a storm? Where are the shut-off valves for your water and natural gas? You should also have a basic understanding of navigation and communication. Have a physical map of your local area and know how to read it. Don't rely solely on GPS. Your communication plan could be as simple as having a designated meeting spot for your family if you get separated. These skills, fire, first aid, and home security or situational awareness, are the 20% that will get you through almost anything. This isn't just theory. We've seen the 80/20 rule play out in real disasters time and time again. When you look at the stories of survivors from events like Hurricane Katrina, the 2011 Japanese tsunami, or the 2021 Texas power crisis, a clear pattern emerges. The people who fared the best weren't necessarily the ones with the most elaborate preps. They were the ones who had the basics covered. Think about the Texas winter storm. Millions of people lost power and water for days in freezing temperatures. The most successful survivors weren't the ones with bunkers. They were the ones who had a non-electric way to stay warm. They had sleeping bags, they gathered in one room with blankets, or they had a properly ventilated propane heater. They also had stored water or a way to melt snow for drinking. Their pantries were stocked with canned goods and other foods that didn't require a working stove. Now consider a different type of crisis, like the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. The initial panic led to massive supply chain disruptions. Store shelves were empty. What was the 20% that mattered? It wasn't tactical gear. It was having a modest pantry of extra food, toilet paper, and cleaning supplies. People who practiced the simple habit of buy one for now, one for later sailed through the shortages with minimal stress. One of the most daunting scenarios for any prepper is a long-term grid-down event. This is a situation where the electrical grid, and with it the entire modern infrastructure we rely on, goes offline for an extended period. Your 20% of effort for a grid-down world is built on the same foundation we've already discussed, just scaled up. A high-capacity water filter like a Berkey system becomes an incredibly high-value item here. Next, you must have a sustainable, non-electric solution for warmth and cooking. A wood-burning stove is the gold standard here. Security and community also become part of the vital 20% in a long-term crisis. A community that works together is far more resilient than an individual trying to go it alone. Your first step is to sit down and identify the most likely emergencies for your specific area. Write them down. This is your personal threat assessment. Next, commit to taking one small action every week. This week, secure your water supply. Next week, build your ready-to-eat food pantry. The week after that, practice starting a fire in your backyard. Remember, the goal is not to have the most stuff. The goal is to have the right stuff and the right skills. Master the art of making fire. Become proficient in basic first aid. Secure your core supplies of water, food, and warmth. Learn to ignore the noise, the hype, and the gear that doesn't matter. Embrace the efficiency and power of the 80-20 rule. This is how you outsmart disaster. This is how you stay calm when others panic. This is how you take control. Own your survival. The mission is yours. Go get it done.